Thank you very much. This is Mr. Azuka on the line. I welcome you to the second edition. Now, on this course, we have already started with news gathering, and we have already stated what news gathering is all about. So, we say news gathering is the work of collecting news for publication or broadcast. So, the work of collecting news for publication or for broadcast is known as what? News gathering. So, the news gathering processes involves the sourcing ideas, the planning coverage, the assigning tasks, and the structuring packages, the monitoring of the web, and working in the field. So, news gathering itself is the process of is the process of or an art of collecting raw materials for reporting. So it is an important aspect of news reporting. So how a reporter gather news is focused on this unit. So I say there are methods of gathering news. Then the ways you can gather news is by number one is by observation, number two is by television, number three is by research. Number four is by interview. Number four is by interview. Number one is what? Number one is by observation. Number two is by phone calls. Number three is by research. And number four is by interview. So these are the four ways you can gather your news while it is ongoing. So we talk about the e-news gathering. In journalists, electronic news gathering is when reporters and editors make use of electronic video and audio technologies in order to gather and present news. So this term was coined during the rise of videotape technology in 1970s. So the term was commonly used in the television news in 1980s and 1990s. So but is used less frequency now as the technology has become commonplace. So reporters use light handheld equipment, sometimes just a single camera to an entire ovine on location. So that alone has made greatly reduced the electronic device has greatly reduced the delay between when the footage is captured and when it can be broadcast. So thus it enables news gathering and reporting to become a steady circle with little time in between when story breaks and when the story can air. So we are now familiar with live microwaves and or satellite trucks. So reporters were able to show live when what was happening, bringing the audience into news events as they happen, as they happen. So outside broadcast, also known as remote broadcast and field operations, and when the editing and transmission of news story. So it comes to a point that the use of electronic device has made possible the greater use of the greater use of outside um, broadcasts. So what are the source of the news? So now that they know how to determine newsworthy and process of news gathering, let us discuss where you can find stories. So, number one is someone may give you a tip, information that leads you to a potential story. B, often when you get a story idea directly from a source provides truthful information on a topic. So once you have found a story, you need to locate source to give you enough useful facts to complete your story. So news can also or can only be made of verified facts. So some credible sources may be number one, schools and colleague. Number two, hospitals. Source from police station, from railway station offices, post offices, fire department offices, local community. Local community could be local media such as newspaper, magazine, TV, and radio. So libraries, business, and community what organization. All this can be gathered as instructed. So local community, national and international media, the media. So now we talk about types of source of news. Types of sources of news. Number one is primary source. Primary source often the best and most reliable information on a topic. Example, an expert on a particular topic, someone with first-hand information on a topic. An original document or official report always find at least one uh, primary source for your story by gathering journals, by gathering, getting book in the library and or one-on-one interview, primary source, and so secondary offers reliable second-hand information on the topic by reference book, credibility website, and know, people with informed opinion on a topic are all secondary sources, so and so on and so forth. So the newsroom, the heart of news gathering operation is the newsroom. The heart of news gathering operation is the newsroom. The news auditor, the chief reporter, presiding over the news desk, compiling the diary of people, briefing reporting, monitoring the days or weeks and cover pages, and checking the finish stories, liaising with photographing, you know, um, answers, answering some queries, signing some document and bringing the editor at hand. So this has to do with the news world. So technology has changed the face of the news world. Reporters still have their desks, but the place of the bedroom of typewriters and telephones, there is the fate homes of computer terminations with their near silence keyboard and the trickle of telephone seven console lights. Instead of piled up paper, news stories scroll across visual display unit, that is video screen, as reports bends over their terminals. So it is a change more apparent than real. Apart from the shift to on-screen writing, the reporter's role as as more as not alter less than any you know other in the computerized what newspaper industry. So news gathering and news writing remains as they always were. The heart of newspaper lies in the etre. So the news editor who has invariably been a senior reporter, brief reporters in verifying details on the requirements, in verifying details on the requirements. So there are also unexpected events such as death, accidents, fires, law robberies, strikes, weather stories, crashes, stick, and occasional, occasionally the old fights or or what elopement. So the third category news job could be put together from tip of example information reaching the office of or the reporter could enlight potential what news from contact. So the news editor will expect check calls to be made by reporter. So there are qualifications of reporters. Qualifications of reporter. A reporter is a person who gather information on a subject and then write about or broadcast it. So this profession is present on a wide area of media outlets. So he or she may work for a newspaper, magazine, radio shows, TV shows, or website. So the possibilities within each of those medium are endless. Hours are endless. So you must make sure that things are working perfectly the way it should be. So they perform research through interview, through public records or other sources. So the information gathering part of the job is sometimes called reporting as distinct from the the what the production part of the job. So reporters are always in the midst of the reaction. So they face the finest as well as the worst situation. They usually meet with the most powerful leaders or the most famous celebrities. They face danger and death with courage and dedication. They are always curious and adventurous. The news reports eventually lands on the news decks. So the process of editing comes into operation through a series of steps, produces a package of information ready for mass communication. Now, qualities of a good reporter. Number one, the reporter has to be smart. The reporter has to be quick. A reporter has to be curious. A reporter has to be honest, courageous, adventurous, pleasant, punctual, able to effectively manage stress. He must be able to manage stress. So communicate effectively, discipline, sincere, and credible, and experienced, efficient, and also lastly, you must be patient. So a reporter must have these qualities for you to be very effective. So as a special qualities of a reporter, you must be aware of the noise for news, alertness and impartiality, and intelligent and courageous, expertise in language, expert in your language, and you handling media equipment, handling media equipment. So neutrality and faithfulness. You must have these qualities. Knowledge of structure and presentation. You must have these qualities. So there are types of reports. Types of report. There are three types of reporting. We have the objective, we have the interactive, and we have the investigative. Objective, as the term implies, objective reporting refers to the straightforward presentation of facts as they occur, contextualizing, backgrounding, analyzing, and opining one part of the subject reporting. So without any subjective input, the reporter simply reports what he has seen or observed. Must be accurate and realistic in reporting, presentation of all main relevant points, balance, and even handedness in presenting different slides of an issue. So minimizing the influence and staying away from slangs or malicious languages. Number two is interpretative. So facts and interpretations are combined in interpretative reporting. So many times the reporter must interpret in certain events for the benefit of the audience. For the benefit of the audience. So it entails um, providing background information on a specific incident or event. So outside from that fact, gathered on the ground, reporters may need to provide background information. So three is investigative. Investigative reporting is when a news reporter has a dig deeper than what's stated in the headline news or in the hard news to find out the exact facts of the event. So if you want to go deeper, it is called investigative reporting. So structures of a news report follows a particular pattern. A news report follows a particular pattern. There is a structure to follow, there is a pattern to follow in reporting as well as editing. So every news reporter, every newspaper might have its own style of writing, but the general format follows by all newspaper at a base level is systematically divided into several parts. Number one, the headline. The headline tells what the story is all about. Number two is the byline. The byline shows who wrote the story. Number three is the lead. The lead tells the most important facts. That is the five what? W's. Don't forget that. The who, the where, the when, the what, and the why. Now the body. The body contains more information and details. And the ending gives every something to think about, something to think about. So the four-part report writing structure is as follows: the lead, the elaboration lead, the key background, and the further elaboration and conclusion. So what are the attributes of a reporter? Number one is noise for news. Number two is good command of writing and spoken language of his medium. Number three is the speed and occurrence. Number four is the objectivity. Number five is the preservative or perseverance and ability to establishing contacts, the trustworthiness, knowledge of working tools, ethics of the what? Ethics of the profession, and versatility. Versatility. So that is how it goes. And there is a remedy of this news story. So just as the basketball players must abide by the rules of the game. So a news writer must adhere to the news of guidelines. So these are also known as rudiments of a news story. What are the rudiments? Number one is accuracy. Number two is attribution. Number three is balance and fairness. Number nine is credibility, clarity, human interest, identification. Identification has to do with the new age, address, occupation. So we talk about the newspaper, we talk about the news point, or the objectivity and verification. So we come to the end of this class, and I think we have had a nice time doing this course, talking about taking in details, and it's been so lovely having you guys. Um, as thank you for giving me audience. My name is Mr. Azuka. See you on the top. Bye. Chineke.